And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Give us a call with your car questions at 888 Car Clinic. LinkedIn predicts that by the year 2020, 43% of the U.S. workforce will be made up of workers who freelance. In recent years, companies like Airbnb, Uber, and Lyft have allowed people to take advantage of the sharing economy from renting out your home or sharing a vehicle. The gig economy has seen explosive growth. General Motors' car-sharing service, Maven, has been at the forefront of car and ride sharing and is launching a new service this week in California, which the company hopes to expand to other markets later this year. With us on the Car Clinic hotline are RACHEL BHATTACHARYA, Director, Commercial Mobility, and for General Motors, and Harry Campbell, the Rideshare Guy. Very interesting individual both. Rachel and Harry, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Glad to have you in-house.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Let's kick it off. Thank you, Harry. Rachel, let's kick off you first. Share with our Car Clinic listeners and viewers about Maven Gig. How does the service work, and how does it help create jobs?
Sure. So I think, as you covered really well already, there's been explosive growth in the gig economy. And for a lot of people that wanted to do it full time, already had a car, already had a 36-month lease, there was a pretty good solution that existed. But if you're somebody that wants to try out the gig economy, maybe you're doing it in between jobs, maybe you just want to dip a toe and see if it's for you, there weren't a lot of great solutions, especially if you wanted to drive for more than one platform and experiment and see what the right fit was. So Maven Gig is really about solving that problem. So we offer a really flexible rental program. It's as little as a week, as long as about a month, a little more than that, and you can renew several times. And the idea here is to put a car in the hands of somebody that wants to use it to earn. So we take care of a lot of the pain points. We make sure they have insurance, because that can be a major problem. Usually you can't use personal car insurance and drive for commercial purposes. We also include maintenance. We include roadside assistance. And then in particular with the Bolt EV, which is the first vehicle we're launching with, we include all of the charging of the car as well, so they don't have any fuel cost. And for most of the people driving for these kinds of services, they put a lot of miles on the car, and fuel can run between $70 to $100 a week. So with the charging built in, they don't have any sort of surprise costs.
Now, you mentioned the Bolt EV. Do you expect that list to grow as far as the brands that you'll be partnering with?
I would. I mean, we started with the Bolt simply because we've been renting to rideshare drivers for a while now, I think a little over a year in partnership with Lyft, and then we added Uber towards the end of last year. And the Bolt EV had been by far the most popular choice. So we started with that. It also, with the charging included, is the lowest cost of use for a renter. So we wanted to make sure we gave them something that would really maximize their earning potential at the end of the day. But yes, I mean, we are part of General Motors, right? So we have access to a wide array of vehicles. And in the other programs, we've offered everything from a Chevy Cruze all the way up to, I believe we've done Equinoxes and Terrains for people that wanted a larger vehicle. So we can bring those back in and expand the fleet as necessary. I think right now the Bolt has just been such a popular vehicle, we figured we'd just stick with it.
Seems to me that you're opening up a lot of freedom of choice for a lot of folks that are interested in the gig economy. Let's talk about California and specifically where you will roll the launch out.
So we're starting in San Diego and then rolling rapidly into San Francisco and Los Angeles. And the logic on California is simply that with the Bolt, we wanted to make sure we started somewhere with great charging infrastructure. So we are partnering with EVgo, and they are nationwide, but where they just had the largest concentration was in California. So we decided to start there. But we're working hand in hand with them literally right now on the national rollout. So we can, with this program, stimulate charging infrastructure for the public. So it's not just for us. We're creating publicly available charging because we bring known demand. So we can say, here's a bunch of Bolt EV renters. We can tell them when they're coming. We can say how many cars. And with that, they can build their infrastructure out knowing there's a customer. And for them, that's a huge benefit to their business overall. And for us, obviously, it's a great partnership as well.
Okay, great. Rachel, another quick question. And Harry, we're coming to you next. But Rachel, what's included in the rental and what are drivers responsible for covering if you provide the insurance and, of course, the maintenance? What's the responsibility of the renter?
Basically just to go out and earn, honestly. So they're paying us just a flat fee every week. That covers the vehicle, that covers the charging, that covers insurance, that covers any maintenance. If they need a tow, we cover that. They shouldn't because they're great vehicles, but if anybody rear ends them or something and they need to get a tow, we can do that. The only expense they would theoretically have would be if they had an accident. There is an insurance deductible, just like any other plan, and they'd be on the hook for that part of it. But otherwise, assuming that nothing untoward happens, they basically just pay the rental and they're good to go. That's it.
Seems to me like this is a no-brainer. It's a fantastic idea. We're talking with Rachel Bhattacharya, Director of Commercial Mobility for General Motors. And now let's shift gears. Harry Campbell, the Rideshare Guy. Harry, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Connect. Thanks for your patience.
Thanks for having me on.
If you would, Harry, tell our Car Clinic listeners and viewers who might be surprised about your job. I understand that you were an aerospace engineer, and then you left that to drive for Uber and then Lyft full-time, and now you also blog about your experience as a driver. Obviously, you have a passion for ride-sharing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you couldn't tell by the name of my blog, The Rideshare Guy, I am quite passionate about the industry, and I actually started as an Uber and Lyft driver 3 years ago, so I'm still doing it part-time now. I actually do Uber, Lyft, and then some other food delivery services part-time, but my full-time job now is running the blog, The Rideshare Guy, and really providing a lot of information and a lot of content for a lot of these, flexible for these workers that are looking for flexible gigs and looking for jobs in the gig economy. They're coming to our site to get information from a third party who can tell them all about the good and the bad about being a driver.
Now, on your blog, do you share your thoughts and your everyday? Give us just a 30,000-foot view of what our listeners could find if they go to the Rideshare Guy.
Sure, definitely. So, I mean, we've got a lot of content on getting started with these services. So whether you want to drive for Lyft or Uber or go and deliver for Grubhub or another food delivery service, we've got information on what the requirements are. So, I mean, as you can imagine, a big topic for a lot of new drivers is the vehicle they're driving. And we've got a whole section sort of dedicated to the different vehicle options. And so they can get that type of information. And then just what's going on in the industry. I mean, this is a pretty new and innovative industry. So there's a lot changing. And I think a lot of people that come into it, they want to get the latest up-to-date information and really just strategies about driving, maximizing your money. I mean, just like you and I and just like everyone else, drivers want to make as much money as possible. So they are looking for strategies on how to do that.
Well, to that end, Harry, what advice would you give to those people who might be looking to take the leap from another career as you did, or perhaps they're simply out of work and they're looking for a driver for a living or just the extra cash?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, I think what we've seen is that driving for Uber and Lyft or really any of these gig services is a great and the two things that drivers care about most are the pay and flexibility. I think for a lot of people looking to get into this industry, a product like the Maven gig, I think is going to be the perfect entryway because they can really try things out and it does allow them to be flexible. One of the things that a lot of drivers focus on is their income. At the same time, obviously, you do have expenses. If you own your own car and you're using it, you're putting miles on your car every week, you're paying for gas. So looking for that solution that is going to be able to count your income and your expenses can definitely be a big help.
No question about it. We'll be looking for the growth of this new initiative from General Motors. Rachel and Harry, thank you so much. Rachel, a website so that our listeners can find more information. Is that gig.maven, MAVEN.com?
That is correct. Perfect.
Okay. And Harry, again, to reach out to your site is the Rideshare Guy. Is that .com?
Yep, that's perfect.
Well, much success to you both, and thank you for your time today. It's a very interesting, I started to say concept, but it's not really a concept. It's just a new program that will take time to roll out. And what I think is really neat about this whole gig, if you will, is the fact that you've got a brand new automobile, so the chances of having a breakdown, at least you don't have to worry about that. So, folks, if you're interested in making extra bucks, you need to follow exactly what's going on here so you can take part in it. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us on Bobby Likis Car Connect. Harry, thank you as well.
Thanks, Bobby.